Hello, good evening. I actually need to have my phone so that I can keep track of the time because it's almost getting at night. It's getting darker. It's 10, yeah, it's 11:25. And for the first time in many weeks, I have submitted an assignment for my class at almost 12 o'clock. I do not like to pass the time as some students do. For me, I like to do things ahead of time. Now, I've never been so busy like this particular day. Okay, I've been busy in other days, but today I just woke up. I didn't make any videos. I didn't do any assignments. I didn't do any homework. But that's because I think yesterday I did so much that I don't know even recognize it. When you don't work to make money and you're not doing school, you're just doing things like events and networking and going out, you don't actually realize how hard you're working. Like, people do get paid to do this. Like, people do get paid to sit in a meeting for hours, and that's what I did yesterday. So yesterday it was Sunday, and today is Monday. It's February 9. Time is going really fast. We only have 20 days because I think this month has 29 days. So that being said, that time is going really fast and the clock is ticking. This video in particular, it's going to be a reflection of yesterday's what can I say, work. Yesterday I took a metro. It was extremely cold. I tried to drive my vehicle and my vehicle was stuck, so I could not drive it, so I have to walk to the metro, and it was extremely hard. Then I went to a dating meeting. It's like a Catholic dating stuff. First time I'm doing this. I'll make a video one day with all the details, but this was the first time I'm doing this. And they had people who are singles, people who are about to get married, those who are already married. All different people were showing up, and they were giving advice like how to approach women, like how to ask for numbers. Like, a lot of things were just more. A lot of things were not correct. In fact, they are not actually true. They gave advice like, oh, if you talk to a woman for 5 minutes, ask for a number. That's weird. You do not just approach a woman, ask for a number. However, these people were much older. A lot of them are psychologists. A lot of them are academics. So and many of them are just women. So I don't think they understand the what's wrong with my mouth? I don't know. They don't understand the struggle like many modern guys have to go through. Like, walking to a lady and ask her number is the most weirdest thing. Within 5 minutes, she could be 16 years old. That is a charge. You go to jail for that. She could be married, and that's also like a violation of privacy. So when they say, oh, walk to a lady, ask for a number after talk to 5 minutes, I felt that was weird. But any other advice that they gave was actually pretty awesome. It made me like rethink. When you meet people, you barely think about those people could be one your significant other, right? You don't think about that as much. But then they mentioned like going to the bars. Right? When you're in a bar and you approach a girl or whatever, then you ask for a number. Nobody where I was in that particular room, any guy in that room, no one guy in that room goes to the bar. So people don't go to bars, and these people who are older, they don't understand that. We don't go to bars anymore. We like to sleep. I like to sleep. All right. I have no business going to the bar. If it was back in the day, I'll be partying. As a master's student, I'll be partying right now. But we don't go to bars anymore. Those times of bars are gone, right? I would like to sleep and innovate, build softwares, build stuff, research, write, publish, do those things, right? We are more productive. The stress is too real for us to go out there on the bus. Anyways, the last thing they gave that I think was very important in this dating advice, whatever they are giving, is eye contacts. If a girl gives you an eye contact, you can tell. If you can tell if a girl actually truly loves you, if she gives you an eye contact, if she, no matter how shy she is, if she can look at you, if she can look into your eyes, she's actually a woman you can actually ask for. Another thing that they ask for is they said you should have 5 dates per week. I was actually surprised at the Catholic University, not Catholic University, this is a different Catholic. I was surprised when Catholic was advising us to have 5 dates per week. That's really like impossible. You cannot have 5 dates a week, like per week, 5 women, different women. That's like impossible. Then they mentioned that like don't judge, marry whoever you can find. I found that also to be very not okay. You have to have preferences. Whereas they mentioned that women have power than men, so women are more likely to make decisions than men. So, but women also like to be pursued. Mostly like religious women like to be pursued. What else did they ask? Did they teach? Yeah, I think that was just like the basics, you know. If she gives you her number and you text her and she doesn't respond within a day or two, you should not even bother. I didn't know this was like a big lesson I learned, because usually not just women but also people in general, when you text somebody and they don't respond, that's a ghost. I do the same thing. People text me, I don't respond. Now I am very, very active than ever before. So this sort of like a dating thing, it was not just about dating, it was also about like being productive as a human, right? You get an email, respond. I actually had a professor at my university who responds to an email no matter what time of the day. 2 a.m. bro wakes up, responds back, right? So it's very, very productive, and I want to be like that. And it's the same way in relationship. If you text somebody that they don't respond, you should definitely not pursue that person. And I'm glad that I'm not dating now, because all girls I've spoken to, there's some girls that I've spoken to who do respond fast, and most girls do not respond in like weeks. So no matter how I think dumb they are, that is a big no. Communication is a key. So there were many things that I gave, and this video is not about relationship advice. And then I came home. I came straight from that event to come another metro all the way to another part of Maryland. I went to watch football, where the Seahawks was playing the Patriots, New England versus Seattle. This is like West Coast, northern east-west, or northwest versus northeast. I think that's how we can put it. And the game was not good. Usually I do like to be generously, but this game was absolutely garbage. It's the most garbage. I'll make a video about it in the future. But what they did, whether it's the people who organized the commercials, I did not watch the halftime show. I don't know who's Bunny is. I know it's a random guy from, I don't know, he's from Puerto Rico, he's from Mexico, I don't know. But you know, I did not watch anything, right? It was not impressive. So that's what I can say. Just that the Super Bowl was terrible, so I didn't have a good time watching Super Bowl at all. I did not even enjoy it. I think the Seahawks plays pretty well. Shout out to Walker. Walker, the big guy, was really good at playing. Beverly was just terrible. New England was like even a mess, right? The Patriots did not try even a bit. So I came home, drunk, not sober obviously, because I was drinking wine, yelling at the football players, and I came home and slept. Today I woke up in the morning, and that's why I was tired. That's why I didn't get anything done. I think it's because yesterday I had a long day, extremely cold, no vehicle, so I had to walk around many times to catch metro. So that made me extremely tired. I didn't think about that, but I was actually tired. So in the morning, woke up, hit the gym, obviously get some workout, and then came back home and I didn't get anything done, right? However, I need to finish something very important. I needed to finish my interview, HireVue, the initial interview, the pre-interview stage with BlackRock. So I had to do the HireVue, and the last time, I just uploaded a video today that the last time they asked me about what is it? They asked me something related to Python, so I had to do Python programming. This time, however, because this was not a technology, it wasn't a technology related job. This was more of a quantitative job where you have to make decisions and consulting the investors, managing assets. They asked me different questions, and they asked me 3 questions. And if I can remember, one of them was, tell us one of the recent event. No, yes, that was one of the questions. Okay, tell us one of the recent event that you have heard, and how and that's the impacts on it had, whether on the businesses or on the individual people. And of course, whatever came to mind, which is, as an economist, it was tariffs. And I had 2 minutes to describe how tariff has impacted American people. I'm passionate about this. I know the stock market went down a little bit, right? We know what happened with tariffs, and even right now I'm still writing about in tariffs with my today's report. So tariffs are becoming the biggest deal right now. They're becoming the biggest problem, right? I could have mentioned AI, but tariffs has also affected the AI acquisitions. So that was something that I was asked. The second thing that I was asked was, tell us one moment that you're mostly proud of. Now, I wasn't raised to brag about myself, even though my parents, my families, they tend to brag about themselves. Oh, I speak good English. I'm smart. I didn't go to school, but I'm smart. My family actually do come from a background of bragging. They brag about themselves, and for me, I'm kind of unique. I do brag myself sometimes, but more than often, I don't brag about myself. I don't brag about my accomplishment. Instead, I criticize myself. I don't feel like I'm doing enough, so I need to do better. Like have a good paying job, get good grades, have a high education, right? Don't get in trouble, don't do drugs, like very high expectations, and I barely talk about what I have accomplished, even though I should. So when they ask me what have you accomplished, and I just didn't have anything to say besides like talking about my academic journey, which I know that BlackRock is not something they will want to hear. They probably want me to tell them how I built a business when I was younger, 2 years old, and how I turned the business into a multi-billion dollar, like bragging about, that's what white people do. White people will talk about things like, oh, when I was 10 years old, I went to Africa to help poor kids. I'm part of that, blah, 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 whatever, right? For me, I don't have that story, because I come from that background, right? So I'm the opposite. And when they ask me what you proud of, what are you proud of, I just described how basically 10 years ago it was impossible for me to stand and say, I'm gonna finish a master's program, I'm going to be in Washington DC, I'm going to have a US citizenship, all right, I'm going to have American friends, I'm going to meet many diplomats. I'm going to be aiming for a high-paying job. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing research. I'm going to be coding software programs that nobody in my family ever built, right? So I didn't describe like all of that stuff, right? I didn't like name drop my parents and things like that, but I did mention my career, my academic career, because that's the only thing I can say I have. I haven't bought a house to brag about it. I have invested billions of dollars to make a profit. I run a company in 2019, which I could be bragging about it, but that company didn't succeed because the COVID-19 it just shut it down. I was gonna open a store. I was very passionate about it, right? So it didn't work out. So that means I don't qualify to talk about my failed background. That's not how you do business. But I learned from it. I learned to go out there and do economics to understand how business works, right? Another thing that they asked me, there was 3 questions, remember, and the last question, because I'm trying to remember right now, the last question was, oh, it just came out of my mind. I was remembering a few minutes ago. What was the last question? Tell us the moment you're proud of. Describe one event that you recently encountered. And the last question was, this was actually the first question that I just forgotten that they asked. Oh yeah, what can, I keep forgetting this one. Why do I keep forgetting this? This is the most important question. What can BlackRock do to support you to succeed? What experience do you plan on gaining? What can BlackRock do to support you? Anyway, one of those areas, like it's more like if you get hired here, what do you want the BlackRock to support to help you? Like they didn't ask like what do you want to be in 10 years. They just said, hey, what can BlackRock do? Like what do you hope to gain out of BlackRock? And obviously I could have said, hey, give me billions of dollars, right? I would love it. I could have also said, give me a full-time job, once I finish this internship. But I just described how I think I need to grow as a person, learn asset management, learn quantitative research, quantitative analysts, understand the market. I know the market, but I know the market from the white noise, right? White noise is like this, the news and those disruptions and technology, right? But being on the desk and doing the actual work, it's the key. And then I told them how I need to be able to understand the investors' decisions, okay? Because doing the numbers, calculating the numbers, doing statistics, doing regulations, quantifying things, all of that makes sense. But do investors who want to invest in that? If I can go and work for BlackRock, as smart as I am, and they ask me, James, we want you to quantify the numbers and tell us, how much should investors spend in rebuilding, Detroit failed area of manufacturing, right? Turn that area into an industrial area, and they give me a project. They did a project. I'll represent a proposal, whether to the government or to the private sector. The key isn't for me to come up with the best analytical, the best statistics. That's not the problem. That's not the key, because not all investors are educated, and not all investors are smart enough, and not all investors will hear you unless you speak their language. So understanding what investors actually want is a key. These people, they are out there, they are sensitive, they care about their money, they are very fragile, right? So you have to be very, very good at understanding investors. And I think that the things that I say online right now on YouTube, those things can be a problem if I get a job, and it could be sensitive to the investors. They could say, hey, We don't like James saying these things on the internet. You just fire him, or maybe just James is he like to speak about his mind. Let's have him on a team, right? Or let's have him in a different department, economics department, right, where he can express his own opinion, right? Whatever they can see me fit, that'll be great, right? At the end of the day, everybody, including BlackRock and the CEOs, they're trying to survive. They're trying to feed their families. So do I. I want to survive. I want to have a family, have a house, have a job, have a stable with a company, and whatever I have, right? Everybody's trying to survive. Even though I criticize them, I know that at the end of the day, everybody's trying to survive. Everybody's looking for a paycheck. So I just meant to tell them that I need to be able to have the idea of what investors actually want. Okay, so that's all I said, and that was 3 questions. That was it. Now remember, I applied for 3 jobs and I couldn't do all of them. So you can only apply up to 3, then you can only do 2 interviews. So the mistake, and the first 2 jobs that I did interview for, they are all located in San Francisco. You could work in New York City, Atlanta, or they pronounce it as Atlanta or Atlanta, or you can also work in Delaware, right? But San Francisco have the biggest office, as well as in New York City, which I don't want to move in those cities. What else? So that's all I had to do, and so I did the 2 of them. That was it. The last job, which was for master's program students, it was global. It was global across the United States, across the North America, and the world. And that being said, since it's global, it's more competitive. The other 2 requires you to be a US citizen, so that was good. But the other 3, the last one, that was for global, so that one doesn't require citizenship, I think. So if they're hiring somebody who is in China, they don't have to hire somebody in America. They can just hire that person from China. So that's what I did, and I went to classroom, and that was it. Now, something unique. In a couple 2 days, the people from Texas, who are known as monks, they are coming here in Washington DC, and they want to see them. That being said, I need a car. I need to be able to drive, because I can't take a metro, right? Because most likely I would have classes. So I was walking outside, just going to class, and there is a guy whom I rescued last time outside. Small vehicle. You see the video once it's uploaded at night. That guy, I saw him today, and I was like, hey, can you help me with a shovel, because yesterday my vehicle was stuck and I couldn't drive it. I was too cold. He's like, oh yeah, sure, because he knows me, he's my neighbor. So he gave me the shovel. I put a shovel in the car. So tomorrow I'm gonna shovel the vehicle. I'm gonna shovel the snow off the road, and hopefully that's going to be an amazing, so that way I have the vehicle fully available. My nightmare is driving off the car and coming back and somebody parks in my area. I'll be so pissed off. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But tomorrow I promise to get the snow off. Tomorrow I have many things to do, because every single day I'm adding in more responsibility. Remember, I moved here last year, okay, and last year there was disruptions. So things are getting back to normal, and things are reshoveling. That being said, starting this year as a master's student and living in a place like Washington DC, where I plan to stay for a long time, it means that I am getting a lot of responsibilities over time. So I'm getting busier and busier and busier, adding more staffs, adding more events. I have to apply multiple jobs, multiple internships coming up, right? All of those things are adding up, and I have those interviews coming up, right? So all these things are adding up, and sometimes I'm trying to forget. So I need to have the calendar filled with everything. Other than that, that's all I have for today. It's almost 11:49, so I gotta go to bed. I think 25 minutes is enough, and other than that, I will be back tomorrow on this camera, shoving off the snow. And other than that, thanks for watching. Like always, ciao ciao, adios, namaste, or Bonaranui. Have a good night. Bon nuit. Chuse. Spasiba. Thanks so much.